Today's stretch is going to be a full body stretch. So we're starting from the ground, working up in a standing position, and then we'll move on to the mat for some deeper stretches. There are usual rules which apply, which is that if you experience any pain or discomfort during any of the movements, then I want you to either stop or modify to something that suits you better. If you feel unwell, make sure you stop. If you're exercising alone, it's a good idea to have a method of communication nearby. Just have a phone handy in case you need to reach out for any help. We are going to be getting up and down off the floor, so if you want a little bit of furniture nearby to help you with that, then that's a good idea. No special equipment needed, just your mat and space to move around in. So if we are ready to go, let's get started. If you can have hands onto hips for me to begin with, we're going to start with the feet and just loosen off at the foot and ankle by twiddling the foot round there. So we'll do 5 or 6 in one direction and then swap around to go the other way. Lovely, and then plant that foot firmly back into the floor. Same on the other side, bend at the ball of the foot and circle round. And then we go around the other way. Marvellous, good stuff. Okay, next one, a little bit of balance required. So if you want a piece of furniture to hold on to, then you can do. But we're going to open the gate. So bringing that knee up, round, and like you're opening the gate, and then bring it back. Good. And we'll go again, up, round, and open, back and through. 3 more on this side. 2 more. Good, last one for this leg. Perfect, bring it back in, and then we'll do exactly the same on the other side. So remember, you can hold on to something if you need to for a bit of balance. Open the gate, bringing the knee up, round, and then back in. Good, make it as big a movement as you can. We'll do 3 more. Next one's last one. Marvellous. Now take the feet just a little bit wider for me, wider than hip width, and literally just slide the hips over one way and then over the other way. So a little wiggle from side to side. And then next we're going to take your hips in a more circular movement. So if you can go round clockwise first. It's not the end of the world if you've gone a different way. It's just so that you know that in a minute, we're going to swap and go the opposite direction. So let's do that now, swap and go the other way around. Good stuff. And then come back into a more central position, but we're keeping those feet just a little bit wider than hip width. Let the arms hang down by your side now. So kind of the weight of the arms is going to pull your shoulders away from your ears. I'd like you to side lean, to go over as far away as you can, and then come back up. And then we'll go over the other way. And just when you get to the end of your available range, that's when you come back up. So you go over and up, over and up. Good. Next time we go over, we're going to hold it there. Now, the top shoulder side, can you lift it up, shrug the shoulder up, and then let it push down? Good, shrug it up, push it down once more, shrug, and lower, then we come back in the middle. It's that movement, that's the shrug. Should have done an in-betweeny one, shouldn't I? Let's go over, lean, and then same thing now, shrug up, push down, shrug it up, push it down, one more. Good, and up in the middle. Both shoulders are going to roll back now, up, round, and back. Good, lovely. 4 more. 3, make it as big as you can. 2, and 1. Fabulous. Now taking the hands around behind your back, please. Either grab a hold of either wrist or grab a hold of your elbows, whatever feels most comfortable to you. You're then going to nod the chin down to the chest. And then from there, roll your ear over to your shoulder one way, come back in the middle, roll the ear over to the shoulder the other way, come back in the middle, and we'll just swap from side to side. If you've got one side that perhaps feels a little bit tighter than the other, then by all means you can spend a bit more time just on that slightly stiffer side. But do make sure you do a little bit of both anyway. And then after this one, come up in the middle, arms are going to hang heavy down by your side, and then we're going to gently reach down in the direction of your toes. And we'll do that with a spine curler forward roll. So chin to chest. Round the back, head and arms heavy and floppy as you reach down towards the floor. Once you get to the end of your available range, uncurl and come back up. Good, do that again. Inhale at the top and exhale down. You go, use that breath out to take you down. Inhale, hold, exhale, will come up. Good, one last one like that, in at the top. And out as you go down and forward, softness through the knees, head and arms floppy. At the end of the range there, just take a little wiggle, shake the arms, jiggle the body, and then we're going to uncurl and come all the way back up again to a nice tall standing position. Good stuff. Right, we're making our way down onto the mat now. So we're going to go into a high kneel position to begin with. Nice strong wide base of support, and your front leg is going to go out straight. So we're pulling the toes up towards us, resting the heel on the floor, and try and push your hip forward a little bit so we're square at the hips. We're heading down in the direction of your toes now, so I want you to keep a straight back. We're going to deepen our stretch a little bit more. If you can touch the floor, that's great. If you can't, don't worry, just have your hands onto your leg. But for now, I want you to keep a straight back. Feel that pull at the back of the thigh, getting as far towards the floor with a straight back as you can. Now we're going to change that up and allow the spine to curve a little bit further. And you should find you can go a little bit further, whether that's further down the leg or whether you can get your hands closer to the floor. And then we're going to uncurl, come back up. If you need to just take yourself out of that position a little bit, you can do, but we're going to repeat again. So we go with our straight leg, pull the hip back towards you on that straight leg side, or you might think of it as pushing the other one forward. Either way, we want a straight leg, hip square, and then lean into that stretch. So sort of send the tailbone backwards and feel the pull at the back of your leg. So it's a straight back stretch to begin with. If you can get to the floor, great. If you can't, don't worry. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Keep breathing. And then we're going to see if we can round the spine and go a little bit further. Good, we'll come up. And then we're going to take that for a third and final stretch on this side. So hips are square, knee is straight, back is straight, and you send the hips back, sending the tailbone backwards. Feel that nice strong pull in your hamstring. Good, see if you can squeeze a little bit more out of the stretch before then allowing the spine to round. And then you can get a slightly different and deeper stretch. Lovely, up you come. And then we'll swap over to the other leg. So, other one is out straight. Toes are pulled up towards you. Pull the hip back on this straight leg side. So you're squaring the hips off. Toes pulled up towards you. And then you're going to go with a straight back stretch to begin with. Resting your hands on your thighs, or if you can get them to the floor, that's great. Curve the back, go a little bit deeper into that stretch. And then come out of it. Adjust your position if you need to. Remember, a nice wide base of support is going to give that good, stable sort of stance position. We go with a straight leg, straight back stretch. So chest open. Feel that pull all the way at the back of the leg, sending the tailbone backwards. Good. Round the back, going a little bit further into the stretch, but still feeling that strong pull at the back of the leg. Okay, let's come up and we'll do one more. Reset, nice and tall, pull the hip back, straight back stretch, feel that pull. Good, and then lean a little bit further forward, allowing the spine to curl. Good, breathe into your stretch and then unfold and come back up. We're going to go into a seated position on the mat now, where you're taking both legs out straight in front of you. We'll go with a little chest stretch first of all, taking the arms out behind you. Try and get your hands as close together behind you as you can. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the breastbone, and a nice open through the chest there. Good, and then we'll relax out of that movement. We're going to do another stretch for the backs of your legs in that we're heading down in the direction of your toes. Curved spine for this one, chin to chest, reaching towards the shins, ankles, toes, depending on how far your body's going to let you go today. Nice wide, full breaths. Pulling the shoulder blades open, stretching into the lower back as well. And then up you come. Good. Shall we lie down into a rest position, please? So you're going to lay onto your back, feet and knees together, and just take a moment to kind of relax down in towards the mat there. Melt the shoulders in towards the floor. Same with the back of the head. Lengthen along the neck. Ribs are sinking in towards the floor. Pelvis is sinking in towards the floor. And you've got your feet and your knees together. Take the arms out by the side, palms up to the ceiling, and then we'll go with a hip twist. Both knees over one way, head turn in the opposite direction to the knees. Brief hold for an inhale, exhale here. Good, and then we'll go over the other way. Knees over, head turns the opposite direction to the knees. We'll take an inhale, exhale. Good, and we're going to repeat that 2 more to each side. So over you go, stack the hips, stack the feet, head turns the opposite way to the shoulders, inhale, exhale. Over the other way. And 1 more to each side. Fantastic. Into the center, arms coming down by your side, taking the feet to about hip width apart. I'm going to bring a glute stretch in now. So if you can cross one foot up onto the opposite knee, push the top knee away from you. So you should be feeling this towards the outside of your crossed over leg. And then to increase the stretch, you bring the bottom leg up and in towards you. Keep the top knee open. And then just have a little move around in that position and see if there's one area that maybe feels a little bit tighter. And if there is, that's where you're going to hang around. Just a little bit of gentle movement in that area. Just think about your shoulders. Do they need to soften and relax at all? Wide, full breaths. Good, lovely. And then we're going to untangle other leg into the same position. So start off with the support leg down on the floor, top knee open, and then coming up into your extended stretch if you wish by bringing that bottom leg up. Keep the top knee open and then have a little play around with the position. See where you get more of that pull, more of that stretch, and hang around there. Good. Okay, let's come out of that one. You're going to come over onto your side now, please. And you can just use your arm to support your head. You can either use the sort of upper arm with a arm out long, or you can prop up head onto your hand, whatever feels most comfortable. We're going to try and open out the front of your hip a little bit, your quads, and a little bit of your hip flexors. So the best way to do that is if you bring the knee up towards you, grab a hold of either your sock, the back of your trouser leg. If you can get a hold of your ankle, that's going to be preferable. And you're going to squeeze your heel in towards your bottom. Bottom knee is bent, so that's going to just help you balance a little bit there. You're squeezing the top heel in towards your bottom, and then we're going to take that top knee back so that you're pulling across the front of the thigh. Roll your hips forward a little bit. Think about flattening the back, so tucking your bum underneath and squeeze your heel in towards your bum. Hold it there, hold it there. Good. Lovely. And then release that side. We're going to go over onto our tummies. We will do the other leg in a minute, but we'll just briefly hold in this position here, going into your cobra stretch. So you can just have the elbows rested down on the floor, hips sinking in towards the mat. If you want to extend the stretch, you do that by straightening out your elbows, but keeping the hips down on the floor. Good. Okay, pop over onto the other side so we can stretch out the leg on the other side. Head resting on your hand or on your upper arm, whatever's most comfortable. Bottom knee bent just to give you that little bit of purchasing towards the floor. Top leg, you're getting a hold of your trouser leg, your sock, ideally the front of your ankle, so that you can squeeze your heel in towards your bottom. And then keeping the heel squeezed in, you're going to send the knee back so you're opening out the front of your hip. Just see if you can drop the knee down towards the floor a little bit. Flatten the lower back so you're pushing your pubic bone forwards. That's going to give you a greater stretch across the front of the hip. Wide full breaths. Okay, good stuff. Release from there. We're going to come round onto our hands and knees, and we're going into a child's pose next. That's the one where we go bum to heels. So if you do want anything to bridge the gap, a pillow, a cushion, roller, whatever you've got handy, you can do that. But you're trying to get your tailbone down towards your heels, stretching your arms out in front of you, and maybe just taking a little bit of a sway side to side. If you've got one side of your lower back that feels tighter than the other, then of course stay in that area. Just see if you can loosen into it. Marvelous. And then we're going to uncurl from here, bringing you back up into a standing position, and then back up into a nice, strong, tall, feet hip width apart stance. Now, before we just do our little posture reset, have a think about those stretches that we did. So we started off with a bit of a flow in standing, but then we really focused in on our hamstrings with that first set of stretches. We did some lower back and some glutes when we got lay onto our back, and then a little bit more when we came onto those all four positions, thinking more about kind of lower back stretches again. Were there any areas that felt more tight than others? And if you did tune in on any of those areas, then maybe this can be my little call to action for the rest of the week for you, to just repeat even one of those movements every day that was in that particularly tight area, and just see if you can work into that stiffness. So that's your mission for the rest of this week. Once we've got that out of the way, let me just bring you back into center for that little bit of a reset. So equal weight, base of the big toe, base of the little toe and the heel on either side. So we've got 3 points of a triangle, which is supporting through your feet. Allow just a little bit of softness through the knees, with your bottom gently tucked underneath, and a feeling of connecting your belly button and your breastbone. Collarbones should be wide. The weight of the arms pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Gently lift the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and a nice wide full inhale, exhale for me in through the nose. And then exhale through pursed lips. Good stuff, well done. Give everything a little jiggle, and that is your stretch and mobility routine complete. Thank